All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Allison Heaney, and I'm the Vice President of Learning and Public Programming at the Museum of Latin American Art. My pronouns are she, her, and I recognize that I live and work on the traditional and sacred lands of the Tongva, Kish, Ashiman, and Shumas, and many other indigenous groups who call these grounds home. I honor and extend my gratitude to all these original people still living in this region. Thank you for joining us today, Wednesday, September 14th, as we begin a new session of G.R.I.T, Generating Radical Inclusion and Transformation. This series of conversations explores how grit, an attribute often given to people who overcome obstacles, can serve as a tool to build agency. With a specific focus on creative expression, G.R.I.T seeks to expand what it means to practice art for social change. Support for the interpretive programming of MOLA is provided by the Genesis Inspiration Foundation from Hyundai Motor America, the Miller Foundation, Dwight Stewart Youth Fund, Arts Council of Long Beach, Robert Gumbiner Foundation, and the City of Long Beach. Today's conversation is facilitated and hosted by Griselda Suarez. She is a writer, artist, cook, and teacher. She was born in unincorporated East Los Angeles and walked Whittier Boulevard and Brooklyn Avenue in black and white saddle shoes. She grew up in a place where her thoughts did not easily find voice, so instead she found pen and paper. Her hometown inspires her to investigate memories of a home space that continues to be bodiless. She believes that the arts are essential in empowering others to express their thoughts. Throughout her career, she has created programming and training dedicated to facilitating transformation and creating agency for her communities. And today's guest is Hilda Gaytan. Hilda leverages her academic background in sociology and urban design to promote creative expression and collective empowerment through art and culture. As president of Puente Latino Association, Ms. Gaytan works to integrate art, culture, environmental justice, and education into a cohesive strategy to foster relationships amongst neighbors. The objective is to equalize the field between generation and race as they learn to engage in art and cultural projects. Having experience with the impact that poverty and systemic oppression has on families, Ms. Gaytan seeks to provide Long Beach communities disproportionately affected by these problems the opportunity to reimagine their shared spaces and stimulate social and civic engagement. As we begin our program, please remember to drop any questions into the Q&A window or the chat function at the bottom of your screen. I'll be monitoring the time and responding to comments throughout the conversation. We'll also leave some time at the end for questions. So with that, Griselda, Hilda, thank you both for being here. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. Bienvenidos. Buenas noches. Buenas tardes, everybody. We appreciate you sharing your evening with us. And I want to just take a moment to thank the museum for the continual support of G.R.I.T. This really is a project that I am dedicated to and want to give a platform to many of our cultural workers, artists, and performers to reflect on how they created their voice, be it their community voice, their artistic voice, and get others involved in whatever else they're doing, because all of this really leads to transformation, which I think a lot when I think of Hilda, and transforming community and transforming leaderships and transforming lives. I have a couple of sets of questions tonight that we always use for G.R.I.T. Then please use the Q&A function, and the museum will, staff of the museum will facilitate those questions and let us know when we get to that point. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves and highlight things in the chat area. It is an interactive session. It's very informal. It's in familia. It's in amistad. We just, have a little downtime to get to know each other. And so with that, Hilda, bienvenida, welcome. I'm so glad you said yes for tonight.
Okay, hi. My name is Hilda Gaytan, she, her, hers, and first of all, I want to thank Mola and Griselda specifically to invite me to this forum and to share the space with you guys and my experience and my thought. I never thought that they are important, but I guess they are. And
They
thank you
are.
very much.
They are very important, very important. And I want to start, my first question always to guests is for us to hear from them how you cultivated your community activist leadership, community oriented voice. Where did it start for you? And who influenced that on you? Who helped you get to that point?
Well, there were times in my life that took me where I am now. My childhood, where my mother and my tia Juanita taught me by example to be courageous, passionate, and fearless. And people who know me, they know that I'm very passionate and sometimes very fearless. My Tio Leon was sure I received education on manners and taught me to be compassionate and the importance on education, collaboration, and love. My childhood was not easy. My family was poor and we faced many problems poverty brings to our life. The best part is that thanks to my Tio and my Tia, we counted on secure housing and there was always food in the table. In 1989, after problems in my marriage, I decided to come to America and start a new life along with my son. Our life, same as many other immigrants, was tough at the beginning, but we both agreed to adopt the American life and move forward. Working on our way up to working our way up the social ladder, we bought our first house 6 years after we arrived. After I was laid off from work in 2002, I went back to school and became a student leader at Campton Community College. After 2 years, I ran and I won the position of Secretary of the Student Senate of California Community College. As such, I received 2.5 years of leadership training and I decided to continue my education and become a community advocate for equity. Honestly, I don't have that many options because I was 45, close to 50. So I was not looking for a job or for something. I just want to make sure that everything that my experiences as a immigrant and everything that I've, witnessed, I can use it to do something good, right? So then I became a community during the first 18 years of life as an immigrant. My son and I witnessed and felt the power of well-designed system of oppression. It was until I went to the university that I understood how a system was created to maintain a pyramid where most of the people on the bottom existed only to support the people on the top. This knowledge completed my experiences, but did not provide me with solution. It was until I learned about urban designs that I could figure it out some kind of solution. I learned how the built environment is one of the tools the system uses to oppress and decided to use my knowledge to change the narrative for those who share the space with me and provide some happiness, if not solution. Then I became as, what was it, Griselda? I was advocate for the arts.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Activate LA. Activate
The
LA.
Activate, yeah. And also I took the working college leadership. So that all those little things actually is been helping me to decide and to move forward into Puente's mission and to help, and to be able to direct the Puente's mission.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like family was a big part. And immigrating was another big part. Your educational experience was a major part. And I didn't know that you were in student leadership. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
at
so cool.
45.
That's so
It was,
amazing.
it was crazy because Canton was losing their accreditation when I was there. And it was a chaos. It was a mess. And I became the student president. And honestly, I learned how to advocate, how to deal with teachers and with a lot of bigger problems. So it was terrible, but yes, I did that. And the best part was when I was secretary of the Senate, I was trained as a leader and how the policy moves and all those things that you need to know. So yeah.
Well,
And I was also a student researcher,
oh,
and
good.
I have a published paper. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your published paper on?
Some biology, I don't remember. I mean, believe me, you know what happened? I always take the chance. It's nothing is going to happen, right? Take the chance. And if it doesn't happen, nothing to lose. So I always take the chances of whatever is in front of me, I just take the chances. And that will happen.
Good lesson. Yes, take the chance. Take the chance. Okay, so something that we met when you were an Activate LA fellow, and we got to know each other. And something that really I see as a pillar to your ship, or the way you go about, and you mentioned this urban design. I think of like physical space and how physical space informs a lot of how the community functions, of how it feels and how it's represented. And you shared with me, and I'm going to share my screen. You shared, if I could get some access to sharing screen from the host, that'd be great. Your work, some of your early work with the Lions Club.
Yes.
Is that where it started for you?
Yeah.
And that kind of, okay. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, it would be unfair if I did not recognize the influence person that crossed my path has made in my life and influenced my decision directing Puente Mission. And I need to recognize a person. His name is Jesus, and he is my nephew. When Jesus was 14 years old, he did something stupid and went to jail. In one of the conversations I had with him, I asked him why he did it. And he answered, I live in the ghetto. What do you expect? And if you see the pictures, he was part of the Hamilton school. And you can see before and after, and before was nothing. It was very ugly, always trash, always a very really ugly place for the kids to wait for the school to open. Some parents drop the kids at 7 in the morning. The kids has to be there for an hour, and just imagine living there, right? So in that moment, thinking about that moment, I reflected on how many kids are thinking the same and how many of them are more likely to do the same. And what about the families and everybody in the community? So I convinced the club to get a grant from the city and to work with the front of the school. We have like 300 volunteers, most of them kids, and we changed the narrative. The school now is beautiful. The kids feel better. Normally, 12 years ago, they used to tell me that the school was the worst, that always is dirty, and now the school is not dirty anymore. So that is the way that we can change the perspective of the environment and the perspective on ourselves. And that's what we are trying to do, changing the perspective, looking for writing the new narrative where we all can be, equal or feel good about it, right? When I was at the school, it was a resource that I really struck me. And it was that they moved some kids from the areas, that very poor areas, some families from some areas, and they put it on the more wealthy areas. And people changed even their habits. They start eating better, they start exercising just to change the environment. So we cannot move the entire community to one another, but we can change it, and we can change the narrative for them. So,
I think, I think that many times, when people want to make change, they think maybe ballot measures or propositions or, the voting process or being a politician. And those are also good tactics, but I just find it very inspiring that for you, it was this space, right? That it was changing people's attitudes through building. It looks like a garden. Was that right? A garden?
yeah, oh, that's different. Yeah.
Yes.
And on the pit garden, normally we depend on volunteers, but when we think about sustainability, we can build areas that doesn't need that many volunteers, areas that can have the irrigation, the automatic irrigation, areas where can be, build on some way, design on some way that can be sustainable on themselves. And that's what we did for the Peace Garden.
Oh, okay.
We changed, we make it sustainable and build the teaching area.
Okay. And so let's talk about Puente in the last few years. Puente Latino Association is located in North Long Beach. And do you serve all of Long Beach or do you concentrate in North Long Beach?
No, we serve everywhere where they call us. It's always a place that is an opportunity to change. You have to go to the places, not always with the open mind, with the new narrative. How you going to write the new narrative, right? And that is happening with the new educational garden that we're going to have right in Bixby Knolls, right? Who's going to think that Bixby Knolls needs a place or needs something? However, this particular block is only multifamily buildings. So where we building this garden, we opening in public space or open space for them, and the opportunity to learn how to grow their own vegetables in the small spaces. So yeah, it's everywhere, but focus on North and sometimes Washington. Washington is also another area that we work.
And one big part that I also find is the concentration, the uplifting of arts and culture. And with the Arts Council, Puente has done a lot of work from the microgrant program. And I'm going to, again, share screen. And I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about some programming, right? So let's talk about Dia de Muertos, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. How long have you been activating space through this holiday?
Well, everything started in 2015 when Shiloh, that worked on the library, Michelle Obama Library, invited us to, I went there to ask them if they can let me have an ofrenda. And they agreed. And we have an ofrenda, we have a get together, and that was it. And from then we built it little by little. Actually, Shiloh was our first partner, and she allowed us to do whatever we want. It was amazing. Go to the library, ask for things. She was like, yes, whatever you want. And it was a very nice event until, of course, the pandemic. Everything was nice. It was a very cozy, Pueblo-like celebration, but the pandemic really hit. Good thing that we have Maria was actually the chair, Maria Gonzalez, one of our board members. She was the chair of the Dia de los Muertos during the pandemic, and she thought about to have a drive-through. That, along with Leon, our art director from Puente, that they put together a great, event. Leo brought the idea of the lasers, and all Ricardo allowed us to do everything we want in the space, and we became like actually the only one drive-through. I believe that day, that year, nobody else was having anything other than us. And believe it or not, the line of people wanted to go in. It was so long that they were cars from Atlantic to Orange, just pack of people. And it was very nice. This year we're gonna change. It's not pandemic anymore. And it is very high financial cost on this event. And actually the people just enjoy it for maybe 5 minutes, that takes to drive to three blocks, even though they go very slow, it not take more than 5 minutes. So we decided to now change and go back to the in person, and we're gonna do it at the Rancho. Oh my gosh, I always forget. They're gonna kill me if they
Rancho Los Cerritos.
No, Rancho.
Los Alamitos.
No, it's not in Lomas.
Rancho Dominguez.
Dominguez, yes.
Dominguez.
We're gonna partner with Rancho Dominguez this year, and we're gonna have our event there. And we're gonna go back. We're gonna have the Juego de Pelota with the Aztecs, and we're gonna have a procession there. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be nice, guys.
I just want to say muchas gracias. Thank you. Puente has really stepped up during these past few years of the pandemic. And yes, you were the only one doing this kind of work, and everyone wanted to go and celebrate safely. And you and your staff, your volunteers and your board members just, pivoted, took on the opportunity. And that is very special, a lot of hard work. Did the micro grant from the Arts Council fund that first year and the second year of the drive-through?
I think it's every year.
Every year.
Every year. We counted on that. At the beginning, we are an organization that is based on volunteers, and we can do things with zero money, or we can do things with $7,000, right? So actually, the Art Council has been our big supporter. $1,000, we can just stretch it and to make something,
Yeah.
And not only that, we have the support of the community. The last year, the community made almost 700 flowers, paper flowers. We got all the North people, the ladies in the North were
like the
flowers.
Flowers back here that I see, the papel.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. 700. Okay. I also want to talk about how you worked in ways during these last 3 years. This one up that happened at Ricardo's nursery with the artist Lucas Gordon in collaboration with us. How did you end up doing workshops and other activities at Ricardo's nursery?
Well, Ricardo is a supporter of us. Whatever we want to do, he always opened the doors. But for us, it was very, very important to bring these two communities together. In the Latino community, the older people, it's not really very open to the gay community, right? It still is a lot of stigma, it still is a lot of things. So we thought that putting these two communities together through art, it will create, a started conversation. And the good thing that there were some families there with kids, and the kids start asking, and the parents has to, be more educated. And eventually that's what we want. We want to bring communities together, the different perspectives, the different point of views that can actually start the conversation. And art has that power, because on art, everything is possible, and you cannot just art, right? And that's something also that the community, the Latino community, we understand. We understand that if it's art, well, you have to let it go, right? So that's what happened. And because you also, the art council invite us to be part of this, it was a program, I don't remember.
Yes, it was a program with the County Department of Mental Health. And they provided funding for us to give to community organizations like you to work with artists, right? To bridge people, to think about mental health through a creative process, right? So that you could express yourself, you can make something that also relieves you of stress and relaxes you, but also you can tackle really challenging topics, right? When you say, our elders, right, in our community are people of tercera edad in Mexico or Latin America, right? And I think like this is a challenging topic, but art made it a little lighter. Like, let's talk about this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the you just recently had another event. And I think this is where all your worlds came together, right? Urban design, sustainability, art, community. And this is at Willow Springs Park.
Yes.
And if no one in our audience, 37, if any of you have not visited Willow Springs Park, you should definitely visit. Tell us more about this project.
Well, everything started because Willow Spring Park, the city, the sustainability department, which I commissioner there, they've been doing the marvelous work. They have redone the entire, well, not the entire, most of the park, and now it has native plants, native trees, and they really have done a marvelous work. So we were thinking on to bring something. Everything started with, not with the mural. It started with a little piece. We want to bring art, and sometimes work with the city, the park and recreation is a little bit long term. So we decided that there is a problem right now that existed in the indigenous community about the sage, the white sage. People is taking it out of the places where it grows, and they are using it as part of a religion or something. I mean, we don't understand exactly how this is affecting the native communities, because we are taking, and we are taking the white sage in our way and try to clean our, our inner, our house or whatever. And the problem, we are created this over need of white sage in the store, that now people is going to the mountains and ripping all the plants, and they are thinking that maybe the white sage is gonna go, if we don't stop this problem, is gonna go to extinction list. So we decided that it will be nice to have a mural that can talk or start the conversation about this problem. So we apply for the micro grant with you. The Native Plant Society also gave us some money to the murals, and we did it. It was amazing. Honestly, it was amazing. It was all art, nothing about yeah, we have a little bit more of information about health or anything, but I don't think that it was that much. It was more about art and bring the community together and understand the importance of to have native plants, sustainability, food access, and all those little things that are important to create a resilience community.
Oh, we have a comment in the audience about white sage. Chris Sarabia, thank you for bringing up the issue of white sage, such an important conversation that needs to happen. It was a really great event. And I think this is in addition to another question that was in the Q&A about how art can change a built environment. If you have a mural that is speaking to this issue or uplifting the importance of preserving and allowing space in a built environment, a garden, nature to keep reproducing these plants, then people learn, or people get educated about painting, which is fun, right? People always think this is really great. So how do people get involved with you? How do young professionals get involved? I know we have some students with us tonight from Long Beach State. How does a young person wanting to make an impact in their community, where do they start and how do they get involved with you?
What can I tell you? Normally, what I think is that Puente is an idea. If you have a great idea, an idea of how to change the environment, or if you want to try something new, this is the place. You can just come over and bring the idea, and if we buy it, if it's fun, we're going to do it. If it's not, we're going to tell you that we're very busy. But so now you know that if your idea is good, right? But definitely something that is important for us is to understand that we are not a membership group. We are mostly a group that uses the power of the community, the power that existed already in the community. We bring them together and we use it to change their own environment. So yes, we always use volunteers. We always have people that can help us, but we need to understand that part of the volunteer work is to do outreach. We need to convince people to join us in the project. Like right now, we are working on an alley behind the Starkin Elementary School that we want to change, right? So we haven't been very lucky to get in the support of do the pavement, but we're still going to be moving. We're still going to beautify. We're still going to try to work with the city and to make it more for pedestrian during the school time or whatever. But the project, actually, the heart of the project is not Puente, is the neighborhood association, the school, the elementary school, is the businesses that they are supporting us, and is the community who has agreed that this project is a good project for them. So whoever wants to help us, they should come over and start working with us. That the way that we work is that we bring people together, we create an idea or a project, and they work with us with 1 or 2 or 3 projects, and then if they have a project on mind, we can go and do it. And that's the way that we actually create leaders and let the people understand how important the connection with the people is. You cannot be a leader if you don't have that connection with the people. You have to be true, you have to be yourself, and you have to be able to express. I mean, something that a lot of people don't understand is that we are connected, and I can feel what are your intentions without you telling me. I can feel what are you here for, right? So the most important for these new leaders is that they have to forget about the ego. Now, don't take nothing personal, and make sure that they stay grounded. Because in the moment that you take the cloud, I mean, as harder that it was, the fall is going to be, very hard. So it's better to stay grounded, to make sure that, yeah, it feels so good when you have a good event. You have no idea. It's so happiness. You cannot get in the door because your head and everything is so big, right? But you have to make sure that you understand that this is a moment of happiness, and it's a moment you feel so big because all the energy that you have that you get from the community who participated in the event. It's not your energy, it's not you, it's the entire block of people who came together. And when you understand that, then go back to the ground and keep working. So, I mean, we are open to receive any, interns and everything. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
we are
Good.
definitely.
Good. Interns, volunteers, absolutely. Now, your impact, I know that as an arts council, we have provided micro grants and some other funding at times, depending on the projects. And you concentrate your work in neighborhoods and communities, and many times some people can call you hyper local, right? Really concentrated. But you have made, and this is something I tell a lot of people, Puente Latino Association has made national impact. The work that you've done here has been replicated, has been used as a model, has been applauded on a national scale, particularly during the pandemic. Can you share with us what happened?
Well,
you
yeah,
created
and
a
census,
model?
right? During the census,
Yes.
yeah, it happened that we all get so excited because April 1st is coming. We're gonna have the first days of the census. We have the money. We're ready to go and have events everywhere. It happened that the pandemic closes everything a few weeks before we have the April 1st. So everybody went back to the office, start doing it online. Puente, we like crazy that we are, because that's another thing. If you want to be Puente, you have to be a little crazy. So as crazy as we are, we have to understand that I am not a person that I like boxes. I don't like nobody put me on the box. I like to feel free and I like to try, and learn from try and error. So this time we decided to do a caravan. I noticed that I saw a few days before I saw a caravan with t-shirts, but I noticed that they passed so fast that actually didn't make any sense for us. So we thought that, okay, what about if we do a caravan, bring music, stop like 5 minutes in the block, ensure that the people is outside, and when they are outside singing, dancing, then we stop the music and send our message, right? Because we have to understand that when people is happy, it's more likely to be receptive of new ideas. It's more likely to listen to you with no judgmental, to be judgmental. So that's what we did. We went to different places, we did that, and Dia de las Madres came, and we did another caravan musical. We call it musical caravans. We went to a mobile home unit, and we just traveled. People was crying, people was so happy. I mean, it was unbelievable. Eventually, we got recognized by the Census Bureau, and they like it, and they recommended at national level to do these musical caravans. Eventually, people changed it, and they did their own version, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Right. That congratulations. That's just amazing that what you did here locally was spread throughout the country, and you got people dancing and interested and learning more about the census. That's just a really great accomplishment for Puente. Absolutely. So we are getting close to the end of our evening here. And I'm just gonna go through my questions. What is coming up next for Puente? What is on your to-do list? What are your current projects that people can help with? Any events? And then for the audience, if you have questions, I'll be looking to the Q&A for your questions and to learn more about Hilda, our guest tonight, and also anything you want to learn about Puente or the community. So what's going on? What's coming up next?
Well, I already mentioned it. We have the beautification, the alley beautification that we call it alley brige, that we put together.
Nice.
So
Yes.
it's an alebrije. So we're going to have alebrijes in the area. We're going to have lights. We're going to have, and we're going to activate the area. Even though the pavement is not the best, We're going to paint it. We're going to do a mural on the pavement the way it is. Who cares? And we're going to activate it. And eventually, we are trying to get the attention of someone that can come over and say, hey, Hilda, let's do a green alley, right? Which is what we want. And that is one. The other one is the native plant and vegetable educational garden that is going to be on Bixby Knolls. We have our native walks that we happen every month, and we're going to try to go to different areas in Long Beach. And eventually we're going to try to do like a beer wash and beer, that we're going to go and, So it's always going to be always a little bit different. And I think that, also, our group is working on the creation of an application that will allow us to connect to each other to increase and maintain the urban forest, especially in the areas where public health is going to be more affected by climate change. So that's another project that we are working on. And of course, that is besides our cultural events. We just have the Hispanic Heritage, that it was great. Thank you, First Friday, that they give us the opportunity to be part of them. And we're going to have the Dia de los Muertos and Puente grant of $5,000 for next year. So we're going to try to invite, of course, our consul and whoever wants to pitch to have a very nice festival, Latino Heritage Festival next year on September 16th.
Oh, wow. So you're going to have a whole year to plan out that festival. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're going to try to make it a real festival, music.
Good.
And
yeah, that's great. That's really great. All right, everyone. So let's get some questions from the audience. Let's get started there. We have some comments here that as someone who has been an attendee, it's just they think it's really fun and great to see the community come together, and that's always exciting. Absolutely, it is always exciting to see people together. I'm going to ask you a random question, Hilda. I know art and culture is really important to Puente and to you. What is your favorite kind of art or expression? What do you like to do?
Dancing and singing and painting and everything. I mean, honestly, something that is important, something that is for me very special is that we sing before we talk and we dance before we walk. That tells us how art is part of us. And not only on part of the families that they are more affluent, right? It's part of everybody. If we can get to that point and find it on each of us, then we can find a solution of our problems, because we will open something different. And for me, dancing, I can dance even at church when they are playing, the church music. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. That's really beautiful. I think you're right. A lot of babies do carry a tune and do their singing before talking. That's very true. That is, it's in us. It's in all of us. Okay, how about this? So one of our participants is interested in environmental science. What are the organizations that are specifically dealing with sustainability issues that are right now in Long Beach? You're a commissioner, right? You're a commissioner in Sustainability Commission. Tell us about that work, maybe some of the organizations that do this work.
Well, we have a different kind of organization. Puente actually is part of G.R.I.T. G.R.I.T is just environment, and it's a group of organizations that get together and they are trying to push more policy, right? And we're talking about Walk Long Beach, East Jar is part of them. Who else? Long Beach Forward, I think so. And La Vaca, Long Beach Alliance with Children with Asthma. Everybody is, all of that group is working toward sustainability, but they are a lot of groups. They are many of groups that they are working on sustainability. Right now, it is important that everybody jump in the boat and start looking for solutions, because we're not talking about the environment anymore. We're talking about the connection that we have with the environment, and we're talking about this, our own life, our own health. So, and that's what I said on our last meeting with the 3 application. We said, we're not talking about trees, we're talking about the survival of the people, that the connection that we have with the environment.
That's true. I think if anything, this last week was a good reminder, right? A good reminder of where we are with our environment, and the heat and the rain and the hurricane and the tropical storm, that our climate is changing, and it is an issue of now. And homes being flooded in Long Beach. Okay. Other questions? Are these events exclusively in Long Beach? Well, I mean, Rancho Dominguez is technically, well, it is not in Long Beach, but you're very Long Beach and Long Beach, Greater Long Beach. Would you say that that's your area?
Yeah, we did some work in Campton. We were invited to work in San Pedro, but we haven't been able to go to other places. I mean, we have plenty areas to work with, and here in Long Beach. But we welcome if someone has a good project, and we can just always look forward and see if it works for us.
How about Alexandra Recinos? What about healthcare? Do you do any events around healthcare? And if so, do you need volunteers that are specialized in healthcare?
Our events, we always have that like a research fair that imply to bring some healthcare providers. Like on the last week, our food distribution, we have someone who brought some information about healthcare for adults. We're gonna have someone that is gonna educate the community about the opportunity to apply for dental care that is existed, and for some reason the community is not taking advantage of that. Definitely, health is the most important. If we don't have health, we don't have nothing. So for us, always bringing that at least 1 or 2 persons that want to talk to the people, and that it fits with the project, we always bring in. Yes.
Okay. Is there an email that we can type in for everyone to know, or how do people get in contact to help with that?
Well, they can go directly to our website, puentela.org, or they can send us an email, the Puente Latino, it's puente.la.lbc@gmail. We're working on to change it right now. That's what it is.
Yes, and I put in the Facebook page. I'm sure people can also contact you there, but puente.la.lbc@gmail.com. Okay.
Definitely, for the person who is interested on to be part of more the sustainability, we're gonna need people that test the application. As soon as we decided on how it's gonna work, we're gonna need people, so they can just send us a test, or a message telling us that they are interested on to work with us with this application.
To test the app, you're going to have an app?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
We're working with the app.
Okay. And then that is for native plants?
That is for to increase the green areas. And I mean, we want to do it for the trees, the urban forest, but also we want the app give us the opportunity to tell us where are areas that we can green in, and whether it is native plants or whatever. It is something that we are working with the city, with Google, and with another other organization, nationwide organizations.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So how to data collection on greening Long Beach. That's good. That's really good. All right. Other questions? Let me see. Oh, that's a really nice compliment. Yes, people, Melissa is saying that you are a joy to work with, Hilda. You're creative and brilliant, and that your passion and talents show. to help others. I agree, Melissa, I agree. I think you're always so open, Hilda, and your leadership shows, and it's always Puente is such a welcoming organization, and gets, community involved, of all ages,
Well,
ages.
I'm going to tell you, Puente depends on the community and on the people. If we are not nice, we're not going to have too many, people who wants to join you. You have, that's what I say. It is important to keep grounded. You have to make sure that you are yourself and that you present yourself the way you are. Just simple. Problems. I have sometimes a little bit of I think a little bit faster than other people, so I run and I got too stressed or whatever. But it is who I am, and when you present yourself with the people the way you are and being open with them, they're gonna follow you, and it's just part of just to be friends, and that's what you want. You want to create friendship, not leaders and followers. You want to have friends that can buy your ideas and that can join you in your locus ideas, right?
That's a very good point, that you want to be in a community of friends and everyone working together, and that brings up I think a collective leadership, right? Everyone working together. Nice. All right. Well, Hilda, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for everyone from Puente who signed on. Students from Long Beach State, thank you so much. Everyone who joined us, this was really inspirational. My goodness, this was a great model of how to get into the community and uplift everyone, and how to incorporate arts and culture in healthcare issues, in sustainability issues, in urban design issues, right? In making sure that everyone has a moment of expression. That's just wonderful. So, Hilda, muchas gracias.
Okay, gracias.
I just want to say thank you to Hilda, and of course, thank you to our host, Griselda. For more information about future GRIT sessions, there's a link in the chat for you. Again, thank you so much for having a wonderful evening, and I'll go ahead and hit stop.
Yes. So,
Thank you.
yes, you're welcome.